If you guys go on Kotaku and if you look at their video tab, almost all their videos are made by people who are either trans or some form of gay. Almost every single one. And in this case, this man is basically complaining about a character in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and then somehow turns this character into a misogynist. They somehow tie misogyny into Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. How they do that, I don't know. Why is it always males who are talking about misogyny? It's always males. And again, they photoshopped this picture. You'll see. You guys ready? You guys ready? We're getting really close to tier 1 goal, ladies and gentlemen. Are we going to hit tier 2 tonight, or are we going to not start the streak again? Just let me know ahead of time. But remember, if we hit tier 1, that is 44 streams in a row, ladies and gentlemen. 44 streams in a row. So let's watch this video, and I'm going to catch up on Super Chats. Here we go.
I love Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. In fact, it's a flawless game if you ignore all of the flaws. One of the biggest offenders is no doubt the presence of a certain AI companion.
Did he just say it's a flawless game if you ignore the flaws? How long did it take for you to think that one up? It's a flawless game if you ignore the flaws.
Flawless game if you ignore all of the flaws.
I don't understand. I feel like that's kind of obvious. Did you who's writing this for you?
One of the biggest offenders is no doubt the presence of a certain AI companion. No, I'm not talking about the Kotaku bot. I'm talking about Chadley, who interrupts you left and right as you're going about the world doing perfectly riveting things like activating towers and scanning crystals and all other sorts of things. If you've played even just a couple of hours of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, you have undoubtedly encountered this character. He's mandatory for all of the open world activities, and given how much the game relies on the combat simulator,
Kiara says, what's wrong with Chadley? Well, you're about to find out, don't worry.
He's kind of pretty important there too. Unfortunately, there's just too much placed into this one character. So while you have a lot of interesting story stuff and even more than a few really good side quests, Chadley just takes up the rest of the game with his misogynistic What do I mean by that? Well,
there it goes. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. If you didn't know, Chadley from Final Fantasy VII is, in fact, a misogynist
character. So while you have a lot of interesting story stuff and even more than a few really good side quests, Chadley just takes up the rest of the game with his misogynistic What do I mean by that? Well, there's another AI companion that was introduced in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, that of Mai, a sort of feminized Chadley, if you will. While Mai is plenty annoying on her own, spontaneously erupting from your controller every time you're trying to complete Fiend intel, Chadley will frequently interrupt her diatribes to tell her to shut up and to tell her that he didn't program her to say certain things. That's all of the qualities we love in a man. Open world activities can be actually quite chill, especially when you've got a soundtrack as good as Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I could just really do without the chattering chatbot.
And that's it. That's content, ladies and gentlemen. That's considered content for Kotaku. That's considered content for Kotaku. For a trans man to tell everybody else about misogyny and to essentially call a side character, Chadley, a misogynist because he was telling the other female characters what to do. Content. Content, ladies and gentlemen. Content for Kotaku. Or, like Boop Nose just said, gay taco. Yeah. Gay taco. I think that's more accurate. So let's catch up on some soups really quick. Where are we at? Objectively, a cat for 5 says, why is the Star Wars Outlaws main character dressed like a man? I bet you $1,000 that it's because the original character design concept was a white man. Well, so I don't know if that's necessarily the case. I think what it is that this character is supposed to essentially make Star Wars fans go, ooh, I remember, right? And what are they remembering? Han Solo. They're trying to make you remember and feel as if this is a Han Solo game, but instead you get to play as a glorious female. So they dressed her basically identical. They dressed her identical. They make her act identical. And they just gave her a different name and they made her a female and they moved on with their life. That's really what it's about, in my opinion. That's why she's dressed like a man, because they want her to be the female Han Solo. Again, I could be wrong, but that's my little conspiracy about that. So, but I appreciate the 5. Thank you so much. You're probably right though. It might have been a white male. Who knows? But I honestly, considering it's Ubisoft, I highly doubt it. And you saw what the developers were doing. You really think they made a white male first? I highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. Half Orc Fighter 1013 for 5 says, as far as these activists are concerned, I'm gonna go along with the Portal 2 closing song. Now I only want you gone. Man, Portal 2 was a great game. The Portal series in general was a great game. And they who was it? I don't know if it was Nvidia or somebody was showcasing a modern Portal with like updated graphics and physics and everything. It was so sick. So sick. But thank you so much, man, for the 5. I appreciate you. We got the Northeast video game realm for 5. B43 Studios looks more like a woke tourism board than a game development studio. You're not lying. You're not lying. Like, at all. They they look as if they're ready to join some sort of protest about men are bad, essentially. And I'm telling you, they're going to be very busy this summer. All these activists you're seeing on Twitter, it's the summer of activism, baby. It's election year. I'm telling you, you're going to see them everywhere. They're going to be posting their activism everywhere. Watch, I promise you. I promise you. We got Monkey Man 04 for a 5. Says, can either Yellowstone explode or the killer asteroid come already? I would just honestly prefer the asteroid. I feel like it would be much more spectacular. I definitely think it'll be a better show overall. So hopefully we get the asteroid. Shadow Wolfer 2 says, what a freak show. I think that's putting it lightly. That's putting it lightly. Apollo Monopoly, member for 1 month, says, I'm suffering from dog herpes. Nice. I got it at the 1984 Special Olympics, and it's more enjoyable than reading a Kotaku article. That's got to be one of the weirdest member chats I have ever read. I think the stream definitely deserves a like after that one. Definitely deserves a like after that one. Adam Rabiel, who, by the way, shout out to Adam Rabiel, man, completely saved the waifu clans, man, the last stream. Saved the waifu clans. Got a stick, Yuffie. It's going to be awesome. Thank you so much, man. Adam Rabiel for 5. This is some serious bohica. It is. It is. You're not lying, man. You're not lying. Ad Victorian for 5 says, looks like Buffalo Bill has found gainful employment at Kotaku. Oh my God. The fucking Kotaku's the easiest company to roast. I really genuinely feel that, which is why like Alyssa Mercante and all these angry Kotaku journalists just lose their mind, because they know that they're easy to make fun of and they hate it. So they struggle. They struggle to move on with their lives. They can't stop thinking about it.